World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Indian Navy has evacuated all 20 crew of the cargo ship that was attacked by the Houthis in the Gulf of Aden. In a news agency, Reuters report citing the owners and manager of the Barbados flag, Liberian-owned bulk carrier MV True Confidence, it said that all of the 20 crew members and 3 armed guards on board of the ship were taken in Djibouti by an Indian warship. According to them, 2 of the dead were Filipino nationals while the other one was Vietnamese. They also said that 2 other Filipinos were severely injured in the attack, extending their sympathies to the families of the victims. United States Central Command or CENTCOM on Wednesday reported that the MV True Confidence was hit by an anti-ship ballistic missile launched from the Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen as it transits the Gulf of Aden. It said significant damage to the vessel forced the crew to abandon the vessel, adding the coalition warships responded to the distressed seafarers. Reports citing the Greek operators of the True Confidence said 15 of the crew were Filipinos while the remaining were Vietnamese, Sri Lankans, an Indian, and a Nepali. The fatalities were the first since the Houthi began its campaign in the Red Sea and nearby waterways against Israeli, US, and British ships. The said attacks have disrupted the international shipping line in the Middle East region, prompting several nations to form a multinational coalition that aims to protect the passage of civilian vessels. Despite the efforts, including the interception of missiles launched by the Houthis, the Iranian-backed militia group managed to continue its attacks and damage several commercial ships.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
In our news overseas, the United Nations is eyeing the use of Israeli military road bordering the Gaza Strip in delivering humanitarian aid to hundreds of thousands of civilians in the northern Palestinian enclave. In a report by the news agency Reuters citing UN aid coordinator for the occupied Palestinian territory, Jimmy McGoldrick, it said the United Nations had been pushing Israel for weeks to use the Gaza border fence road and had received much more cooperation from the Israeli side in the past week. He said the use of the new route would help UN aid convoys avoid congested roads and insecurity within the enclave, significantly speeding up the delivery of assistance in the area. Distribution of humanitarian assistance in the Palestinian enclave is currently facing difficulties due to several reasons, including tight security by the Israeli forces, roadworthiness and safety of routes, and attacks by hungry and desperate mobs. These conditions prompt other avenues for aid deliveries, such as the transport through Israel's Ashdod port and airdrops by the United States and Jordan. Meanwhile, Israel government spokesperson Eylon Levi assured that there are no limits on the amount of aid that can enter the Palestinian enclave. He said the current problem is the distribution, adding that they were working on new strategies together with the private sector inside the Gaza Strip to get aid and deliver it to the people who need it.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
For our Philippine Embassy and Consular News, Philippine Consul General in New York Mr. Senen Mangalile highlighted the contribution of the 2016 Arbitral Award on the South China Sea to international law and the crucial role of the Permanent Court of Arbitration or PCA in resolving interstate disputes. Speaking at a panel discussion at the Fordham Law School in Fordham University in New York, Mangalile said the Arbitral Award is a clarion call for states to respect legal processes and the principles enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS to resolve disputes peacefully. Citing the 2016 PCA ruling, he said the decision not only resolves specific legal questions but also contributes to the evolution of the international maritime law, influencing future adjudications and state practices. He said the Philippines' fervent hope is that actions intended to support and advance international law, including UNCLOS in the South China Sea, will be sustained and intensified. Meanwhile, Mr. Andrew Lowenstein, partner at Foley and Hoag LLP and former counsel of the Philippines in the South China Sea case, discussed the environmental aspects of the South China Sea dispute, such as China's massive artificial building of islands, illegal fishing of rare species in the Exclusive Economic Zone or EEZ of the Philippines, and its environmental impact, among others. He said that the 2016 award was explicit in pointing out China's failure to abide by international environmental norms. On the other hand, Mr. Marium Kalun, senior associate at Gibson Dunn, discussed the flexibility of the PCA as an alternative platform for settling disputes. Mr. Eran Schowinger, professor of Brooklyn Law School, focused on the unique role of the PCA in conciliation between states, citing the case of Timor-Leste and Australia as an example. In closing, Consul General Mangalila encouraged the audience, composed of law students, lawyers, and scholars, to continue their interest and scholarship in international law to help sustain a rules-based international order. The symposium offered an opportunity for the Philippines to contribute to academic discourse, foster understanding, and engage with a broader community. The Fordham International Law Association and the Leitner Center for International Law and Justice jointly organized the event.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
You just heard World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.